So first I'd like to say thank you to Hunter College for hosting this event. My name's Emery Martin, and I'm coming to you from NYU, the Interactive Telecommunications Program. So today I'm going to be talking about a group called the Neighborhood Network Watch, which is a group I've been working with and a project that I've been working coincidentally with a group of people on that basically is dealing with public networks. And it was founded basically in around, it actually came into existence in around middle of 2006 with help from the Department of Homeland Security. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, a little bit about what we're about. So this is our mission statement, and basically running it down is the Neighborhood Network Watch is a community-based organization likened to the neighborhood watches of yesteryear that started back in the 70s, that basically takes a look at public networks and looks to safeguard them in our nation's interest, both for national security purposes, but also to help keep the community safe. It does this by a couple different means, through data collection, which is one of the biggest ones, from public networks, as well as through analysis of that data and sharing that information with other agencies. So, just quickly, very briefly, now we all know about terrorism and stuff and how the tactics that they use, decentralized, distributed, autonomous cells, that sort of thing. But also we have wireless networking, which is kind of becoming ubiquitous within the networking topologies that are being used today. So that is raising its own concerns because it is very much a distributed model likened to the terrorist cell, and in a lot of ways can be used what's called for those sorts of activities. So we need to keep an eye on those sort of networks, and that's why the Neighborhood Network Watch was established, was to take a look at those. So previously, a lot of the groups that were looking at national security were primarily looking at centralized methods and tactics in order to engage these sorts of threats. However, they're totally ineffectual, so they have realized this, and they have realized that they have to mirror the methods of terrorists. So they have moved towards decentralized, distributed tactics, basically. And that's where we come in. The Neighborhood Network Watch, since it is community-based, it's embedded within the community. It's small in size. Generally, the chapters and the units are very small, so they're very mobile and flexible. And this is kind of a rundown of what we actually do, step by step, our main processes. There's 7 of them. The first is network identification, which is basically actually finding networks, what is available, what is out there, what can people actually use. Data collection would be the next step, which is where we would actually go to these networks and actually collect samples of traffic that's actually flowing through the airwaves. Then from this, we can go ahead and analyze this data using software that we've made for that, specifically for that purpose, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Then from there, we interpret the data and actually try and find meaningful things out of it. And from there, we visualize this data in a number of different ways. One of the most useful ones is maps. We map the data geographically. So we take a look at trends, we take a look at hotspots, regions, and areas that are of specific note that other agencies might be interested in and actually concentrate their efforts towards. And then the last 2 things are kind of done simultaneously. The network threat advisories are very similar to the Homeland Security's advisories, like Elevated and Orange, and we all know those, like when we go to the airport and stuff when we travel. And it takes on that same model, and it basically issues those to the actual networks themselves. And then also we, of course, share this information with other agencies, and we actually give them the raw data so they can analyze with their own proprietary software. So they can do a better job if they need to. So technology, what do we use? We basically use off-the-shelf technology. Pretty much any platform can do this. We deploy a lot of Macs, a lot of PCs, Linux boxes. They're laptops with Wi-Fi cards in them. Sometimes we optionally equip high gain antennas in order to gain a larger range, so we can capture more traffic. And then software-wise, it's most of it's free and some of it's proprietary, but it's all open source, so it's very easy and it's low entrance level and it's very inexpensive to maintain. The two programs of note are TCP dump and the NNW keyword analysis application, which is our own custom software.